Hello, so I recently got a comment on one of my videos saying they would love to see a playthrough of Emissary. So, for Jeremy, we're going to do a VOD review of an Emissary game. So I recently made a how-to guide on Emissaries, which I'm going to link at the top right, I believe, on YouTube it shows it for the other recommended videos. So this is going to be kind of like a supplement and a VOD review playthrough of how I would play Emissary, and I'm going to go through all my thought processes and what I did along the way. If you like my content, make sure to like and subscribe. This is a little bit more of like the boring older content that I used to do, but you know, to supplement the guide, I think this is really important if you're actually trying to like get really good and like understand Emissary on a much deeper level than just like this is the final board. This is the type of resource that's going to help you to do that. So without much ado, let's get straight into it. I upgraded a Trundle. Basically, I just try and hold as many one-cost unit pairs as I can. Hold on to key units, for example, like Singed in case I hit a Chem Baron emblem. That's really strong. Hold on to Lux because maybe I hit Lone Hero Lux. I don't believe too much in, like, I don't like that comp too much because, like, you know, you need to high roll the, like, I've played it. I think I played Lone Hero Lux one time and I didn't get the exact things that I needed and it was just miserable. But anyways, I'm looking at these augments. There's a couple things that are going to influence my choice here. But Conqueror Emblem, I don't really have anything for Conqueror. Wandering Trainer is a bit, like, luck-based. Long Distance Pals, only with specific comps it works really well, where they're, like, sharing stats pretty effectively. I do a quick scout, and I see there's a couple boards that are quite strong. I'm not sure if anybody has particularly, like, an Exodia type board, but I don't have much confidence in my opener for a couple reasons. So I'm going to take What Doesn't Kill You. What doesn't kill you is an econ trait, or sorry, an econ augment. What it does is it gives you 2 gold per round if you lose the round. If you notice right here, I got a bunch of gold. That wasn't from my augment. The gold was because we are in the portal or the encounter of Caitlyn, where you get gold every single start of each stage. So this is a high econ galaxy, so you're gonna have a lot of gold. If you watch my guide on Emissary, the main thing that I said is that you usually want to have as much gold as possible if you're playing towards Emissary. Emissary is a very expensive board and it's very hard to play. Well, it's not hard to play, but it's very hard to do well with it if you don't have enough gold to like make yourself actually hit the units. When you're playing around Emissary, a lot of times you want AD melee items because you're playing around AMBESSA, or AD items in general because you're playing around Corki. If you're playing around those units, I looked at my components here and I got like a nice mixture of everything, but at the same time, I can't really slam any items without like griefing the rest of my components. For example, like if I want to make melee items, Edge of Night is really good, but if I make Edge of Night, like what are my leftover components? They don't make sense, right? Similarly, if I want to play AP, you know, Tier Sword makes Shojin, but then what am I making? Like Gwinsu, I'm making Titans. Like the best set of items I can make if I wanted to win streak here would be to make Titans and then a Gunblade, but those aren't particularly great items. So basically what I'm trying to say is that looking at my opener, my board didn't look particularly strong. I also it didn't feel like I want to slam any components. And I know that if I got 5 components or if I got a lot of components, it means that most people in the lobby got a lot of components. So if I'm not slamming items and my board, the units themselves aren't particularly strong, like it's not a good spot indicative of like a Trist reroll or like some other type of reroll, instead I'd rather just lose streak. It works out really well because I hit this augment that incentivizes me lose streaking. It also gives you component cash outs. Every 4 losses gives you an extra component. You get so much gold early that I'm going to be richer than most of the lobby. So even if I'm contested on Emissary, I should be able to roll significantly more gold a lot earlier than the rest of the lobby. Here, I kind of don't care about like strictly like winning. There is, I think, a Chem Baron player somewhere. I forget if this was the game or if it was another game that I played because I played a couple of them. I'm just full open here because I'm trying my best to guarantee my loss streak as well as guarantee as much econ as possible. So in terms of the actual guide, like in terms of the actual board, that's like all that I need to talk about for the intro, and just know that I'm just going to be making as many econ intervals as possible in stage 2 just to set myself up for the future. My augment really enables me to do that. There's lots of other loss streak augments that are pretty good. Something like Patient Study is really great because you get 3 XP every turn. Something like this is great because you get extra components as well. But anyways, if you're trying to play around Emissary, the final board that you're usually going for is something that looks a little bit like this. Basically, you're usually playing around the Emissary core units. So these are these 4 units, which I'll put in the top left corner. So it's usually AMBESSA, Garen, Tristana, and Nami. The way Emissary works, if I highlight it, is basically you either have one of the trait in, so you get 1 emissary bonus, or you play 4 emissary, and then all your emissaries gain 200 HP and 20% damage amp. Emissary, when I'm talking about playing emissary, it's like an emissary is like a flex line where you basically play these 4 units and then you fill it in with other quality units that get the benefit of the emissary bonuses, because it's a team-wide bonus that you get. So here I have AMBESSA and Garen, and I have Tristana and I have Nami. A lot of times you pair up your damage dealers as follows. Vi works really well because Vi is a nice frontline unit and you can build double melee, and double melee typically is like a nice pairing to have. Additionally, you have Corki. Corki synergizes with Artillerist and he just does a ton of damage. The Nami and Tristana buffs to Corki also allow him to cast pretty effectively. Now, if you're trying to fill in the gaps here, depending on which of these units you hit, because they're all 4 costs, you're not guaranteed to hit them all as a 2-star unless you're really rich. But you can basically play around having TF. TF gives you Enforcer and Quick Striker. That's really important if you're playing around AMBESSA. So if you hit AMBESSA 2 and Vi 2, for example, TF would be really good. And then you can play Swain and GP because it gives you Form Swapper, gives you Scrap, which gives you a little bit more frontline. You can also frontline your Corki in some spots, which we'll talk about a bit later because I probably do that in this game. And then you also get Conquer in. So you basically get like a bunch of synergies. The left side of your board lights up really nicely and you see all like the cool things saying 2 out of 2, 2 out of 2, 2 out of 2. But basically the way that you should look at this is a level 9 board. If you're on level 8, you just have to pick the 2 of these 3 dudes that fits whichever units you hit. So like, let's say you don't have a Vi, then you can just play all 3 of them. If your main carry is AMBESSA and AMBESSA is 2-star, then you want to play TF for Quick Striker. If Vi is your main carry and she's 2-star, then you want to play Pit Fighter for sure. And then if you're mainly Corki and you're using Corki as like a frontline trade, then you want Scrap in. But a lot of times you can drop Swain is the easiest to drop a lot of the time because Gangplank helps your frontline with the Scrap, helps your Vi with the frontline because of Pit Fighter, and also the only thing that you're missing out on is Form Swapper and what's it called? Form Swapper, Sorcerer, and Conqueror, which aren't that big of a buff on AMBESSA relative to the other buffs that she's already getting. So that's typically what your board looks like. I did a guide on it, so I don't want to spend too much time just talking about the guide and the items and the units and all of that. I'd rather just spend time actually watching the VOD and talk about my process step by step, because I think there's a couple people that were asking for that. So here, as you can see, I just full open. I lost streaked. The reason I full open was there was another guy that had a really weak board, so I just want to make sure I'm the weakest guy to guarantee that I have my 5 loss streak. I bought a couple units here. I'm leveling up because I'm basically sacrificing 1 gold to guarantee that I beat Krugs. On Carousel, I took an extra sword because this comp requires a lot of AD if you're playing it in the way that I'm planning to play it. So I have this extra sword that I can use to either make another AMBESSA item or Corki items. They're just really high value, or even Vi items. Here I summon Edge of Night. Edge of Night is what I think is AMBESSA's most important item. I talked about in the same item guides that I mentioned. Besides the Emissary guide, I kind of talk about how much Edge of Night is really good on AMBESSA because she dashes the backline, so it helps her out a lot. Looking at my components, I have a nice mixture of a lot of different things. Here, I want to maybe I want to start working towards like an item trio or an item set. I see these 2 bows. I don't really like Titans as an item. It feels kind of like mid, especially on like a lot of units because it doesn't give that many stats. So instead of slamming Titans here, I want to use these bows probably to make red buff. Red buff is just great. I found this Twitch as well, so I want to itemize this Twitch as like a little bit of a mid-game carry. Twitch without experiment is pretty shit, but based on the board that I hit, it's a 4 cost, so I can play around it for a couple turns. So here I put in Twitch. I'm not going to necessarily play towards Twitch because I'm already on a loss streak. Because I'm losing a lot of HP, I don't have faith in Twitch unless you hit certain conditions in order to actually like win out. I'd rather play towards Emissary because I think that with a large gold lead, like my game plan from the early game, I have more faith that I'll be a lot stronger for later in the game. So, but anyways, for mid game, it's fine. Just play the unit. It doesn't mean I have to commit to Twitch. But these items are really good on Corki as well. Red buff for anti-heal, as well as a bunch of starting attack speed, and then, what's it called? Infinity Edge is good on everybody. Here I hit Bronze for life. So of the options, there was a couple options. Piercing Lotus was also okay, but basically Bronze for life is pretty much the best thing you can hit. I'll explain why in a second. Blazing Soul gives ability power, so it's not that good if you're playing around AD lines. Slamming for double econ is great, A lot of times when you're playing Emissary, you want to have double econ because it's just so important that you hit your units. When you're playing Emissary, one of the biggest problems isn't like necessarily hitting the units and hitting the upgrades. The biggest problem is the fact that you have to like you have to roll and you have to hit both the AMBESSA and the Garen. That's the problem. So like let's say you do your level 8 roll down and you find AMBESSA 2-star. If you find AMBESSA 2-star, you can find 100 AMBESSAs. If you don't find a copy of Garen as well, you cannot pivot into the Emissary board because the Emissary board is either 4 in or 1 in. So you can't pivot into the board that you want to play very easily. That's why econ is so important. A lot of times, if you don't hit a particular unit, there's games I play where I roll all my gold on 8 and I don't find a single copy of Nami, right? Like I literally just don't find Nami and I can't play my board. It becomes such a disaster. So that's why you need so much econ, because the more gold that you have, the more guaranteed you are not only to hit the units and upgrade the units to 2-star, but also you have to guarantee finding at least one copy of each of the Emissary units. And that's actually the killer. That's the part that's really bad. Here I don't need double econ because the galaxy, like the portal that I'm in, I don't know what you call it, encounter. I think they call it encounter now. The encounter is Caitlyn encounter. So every round I'm getting gold. So I already have a lot of gold from that. I have a lot of gold from my first augment. So now I want to have a combat augment. I want to have something that buffs up my board and makes it strong. Of these, the best option here is Bronze for Life. Now, why is Bronze for Life good? Piercing Lotus is also takeable if I didn't have Bronze for Life. Because like, you know, you don't need Shred or Sunder. You don't use it because you have IE and it's diminishing on IE. You use it because it gives you Shred and Sunder, so you can prioritize your items on other units. Bronze for Life is the best thing I can hit because if you go back to the board that I was showing you, like the typical board, look at the side of the screen. Bronze for Life is one of the best things you can hit with this board. It gives you so much damage amp because basically, if you play 4 Emissary and you just have synergies with those Emissary units, you light up the left side of the screen like no tomorrow. So Bronze for Life, you get 3% damage amp per activated trait, or I think it's 3%. It could be a different number. I forget. There's a prismatic version as well. But with AD lines, this is like your go-to AD Bronze for Life board because it just activates everything and you just get a bunch of damage amp. So basically every single one of these units, even these shitter units that don't do anything normally, they're all going to have like 30% damage amp. It's going to be nuts. So it's absolutely a must take there. It also makes me stronger in my mid game, which is something I didn't really talk about. But usually if you lose one stage, it feels really bad to lose the next stage because then you just have no HP. I already see here that there's a clear divide between myself, right, that I'm right here, and everybody else, right? These guys are 70, this guy's 80/90, these guys are 90, and this guy's 100 streaking. So I am very far behind because I chose to sacrifice the majority of my stage 2 round. By sacrificing stage 2, I do not want to sacrifice my stage 3. Typically with this augment, you want to lose 4 in a row. You want to lose 8 in a row. With what doesn't kill you, every 4 times you lose, you get an extra component basically. So typically you lose 8 in a row, and then you can start converting to a win. Here, I just don't care about win or lose. I don't really care about streaking anymore. I'm 50 gold, level 7. I'm very rich. I'm much richer than the rest of the lobby because I already got so much value in stage 2 off of this augment. Early gold is so important because look at this guy, right? This guy, he's re-rolling, yes, so he spent a bit of his gold. But he's 50 gold, level 5. I'm 50 gold, level 7. I'm up like 50 gold on this guy, right? He has a bunch of 1 costs on his bench. I'm up like 50 gold on some of the players in this lobby. Early gold stockpiles a lot faster because the sooner you can make it to 50 gold, every single turn you're getting +5 every single turn. So that's really important. Here you notice that there's a Twitch. I'm not even going to buy the Twitch because, like I said before, I don't have faith in this Twitch line. I don't want to necessarily play Twitch into my late game. So even if I hit like a Twitch 2, I'm probably going to sell it and play Emissary anyways. It's just like, you know, I feel like that comp is too conditional and you need very specific circumstances to make it work, which maybe I'll do in a separate guide another time. But here I'm looking around. It looks like there's at least 2 other Emissary players. So I think it's a 3-way contest, which is really bad. Normally you just want it to be a 2-way contest. 3-way contest just means that like it's a disaster. Whoever's the richest is usually the one that's favored, but there's still a level of RNG, so you have to roll very aggressively very early. Here I take a glove. If you look, I put 3 items on Twitch. The reason I put 3 items on Twitch is just because item stacking, right? If you just put them all on the same unit, you do a lot more damage than splitting up your items. So even though Edge of Night isn't that useful on Twitch, it gives attack speed, which helps them with the other 2 items to do damage. It's fine. Here I make Hand of Justice. That's why I took the glove off of Carousel. None of these components besides Hand of Justice could really make a Shred. That's all I'm missing in terms of utility is Shred / Sunder. Sunder in this case because I'm trying to reduce armor. I'm playing AD. Hand of Justice is good because it's a crit glove item. I already made IE, so either on my AMBESSA or my Corki, I can pair crit glove and attack speed items and then have them just do a bunch of crit damage. Crit is good here. Why is crit good? I have Bronze for Life. What does Bronze for Life give me? Damage amp. So basically what I want is AD, which I'm going to have from my different units and their different traits, right? AMBESSA gets AD and Corki gets AD because of like the way that their traits work, right? Their synergies. I have Amp from Bronze for Life, right? I have Damage Amp. And now because I'm making glove components, I have Crit. These are all the ways that I can boost my damage, right? If I get an ult that crits with a bunch of Damage Amp and I have a lot of base stats, I'm in a good spot. So that's why I'm pairing and I'm prioritizing gloves and swords here. It just works out really nicely with this trait. Even if I didn't have this Bronze for Life augment, it's important to note that sometimes crit gloves are really nice on these units because, like, take AMBESSA for example. Emissary gives a little bit of damage amp as well. If you have 4 Emissary in, all the Emissary units get damage amp, which is nice. So I tend to like making, like, you know, that's why I prioritize an IE early. You might ask why I didn't make a Hodge earlier. I don't know if I said it because I had to re-record this video, so I'll repeat myself here. If I repeat myself, I'm sorry. But basically the reason I made I do Hodge after I make IE is because IE is good on both AMBESSA and Corki. Hodge is really only good on AMBESSA. Vi is like whatever. Like I usually don't prioritize items for Vi, but it's fine. IE is good on everybody though. Infinity Edge is good on Vi because when she ults, it's really strong. It's good on AMBESSA just for more damage, and it's really good on Corki. It's probably the best on Corki. It's one of his best items. So IE is really good. So that's why I made IE first. Edge of Night is really important on AMBESSA. That's why I made Edge of Night. Healing is the lesser important. Vi gets healing because of Pit Fighter. If you play Pit Fighter in your traits, Vi will have healing from that. AMBESSA in her actual kit, if you read her tooltip, she actually has healing built into her kit. So I can probably that's why I prioritize that item last, right? If I'm making items, I'd rather make the other units. Also, I'm going to do my roll down here, so let's go through this. So I'm level 750 gold here. Basically, no matter what, I'm either going to roll on neutral rounds right now or I'm going to roll next turn. And I am going to send it, guys. I'm going to send it down to as low as I can reasonably go because I think it's a 3-way contest, so I just need to hit everything. So I'm going to roll before everybody else can make it. I see a Garen. We level. Pump 1 level. Bang. We're just rolling down for all the Emissary units. It's already in the team planner, so we don't have to worry about it. Boom. AMBESSA 2. That's pretty high roll, but we'll take it. I start selling my board, right? Because I need to put in these units. I'm missing. I have Emissary in, which is the most important part. I'm going to keep rolling. I'm going to keep rolling just to make sure that I hit everything. My board is almost complete. I just need to swap out this for something. I need a TF in. So that's my mistake. As you can see, I'm a little bit confused here. I'm like, why don't I have as many synergies as I thought I would have? But it's okay. So here, AMBESSA is my 2-star unit. So Infinity Edge and Hodge go on the AMBESSA. And then I'll worry about everything else after. So here, I make another Hodge. I'm not in the best spot. As you can see, I'm 52 HP. So I definitely want to make sure that I preserve my HP. This guy's Chem Baron. I don't know if he's going to make it to 500. I don't want to be the one to find out. Right? So I want to make sure that I have enough HP so that if I fight this guy again in the future, you know, I don't go 8th. Right? So I don't want to hold on to my components. Ideally, you hold on to the glove for a last whisper because I don't have armor. Like, I don't have sundering, which might hurt me later. Here, I'm looking for anything that makes me strong. Bulky Bud's a little bit awkward for me to play around, so I just take the support item. Here, I hit Locket. I'm down for just Locket. Z-Rot's also pretty fun sometimes because with Emissary, I think it gets all the Emissary bonuses. But I don't think it's worth gold augment to get a Z-Rot portal. I think it's nice if you, like, hit it, like, in a loot sub type of situation. Locket gives HP and it gives a bunch HP to the user, and then it gives a bunch of armor and MR. Armor and MR is really good on melee users because it just makes them tankier. Having HP and tankiness on these melee users is just strong. As you can see, I'm still rolling. I'm still rolling pretty aggressively. The reason I'm rolling pretty aggressively is because I'm Corki paired. I could technically stop rolling here if I wanted to like hyper optimize and play for a first. You stop rolling unless you're paired on more than one unit. That's like a good rule of thumb, because you want your rolls to be efficient. You don't want to roll just for one thing, because if you're rolling for one thing, you're probably just gonna there's not a good chance you're gonna hit it. Because I already have AMBESSA and I'm pretty stable around AMBESSA, it's fine. But as you can see, I fixed my board a little bit. I put in Quick Striker. The only two synergies I don't have are the Vi synergies, because I don't have a Vi right now. This should be a steamroll for most of the lobby. At one point, I'm going to start econing up, but I just want to roll really aggressively early. I've had a lot of games where I have a spot like this and I don't roll, and then by the time I roll again, all the units are gone. So now that I rolled, I got through all the panic stage, I'm looking through everybody's board. I'm trying to count how many Garants are gone, how many AMBESSAs are gone, how many Vi's are gone, because depending on what, and how many Corkis are gone, because depending on what I see, I'll then decide if I continue to roll. And I think now I'm going to be slowing down, right? As you can see, I'm not going to roll this turn, because I looked around, there's so many Corkis gone, I have AMBESSA 2, and there's a bunch of Vi's gone, because some guys randomly playing Pit Fighter as well. Like I said, it was a 3-way contest, so it is what it is. And then here, you'll see that I put Corki in the front line. Why do I put Corki in the front line? So Corki front line is really strong, because basically you get this scrap shield that lasts for the first little bit of the fight. I think it lasts for the first 20 seconds or so. So because Corki has scrap shield, he's pretty much never gonna die. Nobody can really burst down this Corki like out of nowhere. So you're pretty safe to put the Corki in the front line. He takes a couple hits. He has the scrap shield anyway, so he doesn't even lose HP. And then when you take hits, it also generates mana. So this Corki will cast faster. Like his first cast will come out faster if you put him in the front line, because he'll just take damage. It's similar to why there's some tech. Sometimes you see like these meme builds where you put Powder in the front line, because Powder has the same scrap shield and she takes so long to cast that if you put her in the front line, she takes damage and then she casts a little bit earlier. I also have Locket, so I'm really not scared about this Corki dying. Sometimes with a Corki 1, you can do this and just grief your game because he just gets deleted instantly. But because I have Locket and the scrap in, this should be fine, right? I should be fine here. Now, I'm going to roll. Remember what I said before? You shouldn't roll unless you're paired on units. I found a Garen. So now my rolls are very efficient, right? I'm either going to hit Corki 2 or I'm going to hit Garen 2. So I'm just sending it straight to 0. You can greed. You can decide like, I'll go 9, wham. Like, I don't care. My games have been going so poorly these last couple days because I keep getting like, some guy just hits a Victor, right? Like, what if somebody hits a Victor now, right? I'm 52 HP. What if somebody hits a Victor and I rotate into them? Like, I'm just done. You know what I mean? So it's like, It's like I'd rather just roll. Now I'm Vi paired, I'm Corki paired, I'm Garen paired. I'm just going to be 0 every single turn. Hitting any of these spikes my board significantly, right? If Garen 2, I have much stronger of a tank. Vi 2, I can play her in place of the Swain. And Corki 2, he's my second damage dealer. And if you look at the screen, he'll do a lot of damage most of the time. So I'm totally down. Here, I made Gunblade just for sustain because I feel like my front line isn't that strong. My items for Corki aren't that great, but I'm planning on rearranging them after. Having Omnivamp items is fine because I'm just going to make Vi into like not a damage dealer, but like a Giga Tank. I think I have enough damage because of Bronze for Life that this AMBESSA is going to rail through everybody. So ideally, it's like I got Sword Off Carousel. I had a Rod, which I don't really have anything that can do with it. So I just made Gunblade because it's like, it's fine. Here, I'm just looking for anything that's like nice for frontline. I don't really need more damage amp. I either want like base stats because I have damage amp and crit, or I want survivability. So I already have armor and HP because of Garen. This gives 12% max health, so the longer the unit lives, which my AMBESSA is usually like the last unit alive, she just gets more and more HP, which is pretty good. So I'm down for that. I'm down for just HP, just make the AMBESSA a little tankier so that she lives a little bit longer, does a little bit more damage. It's not the best anomaly you can hit, but you can't greed for anomaly. There are so many times where I roll down 50 gold and I don't hit a single good anomaly. If you see something that's like minor or like somewhat takeable, you just have to take it. Especially me that I already rolled my gold down. I don't have that much gold. Now, other point of contention here. Mel. Do I buy Mel? I don't think so, right? The reason I would buy Mel if I didn't have these Vi's on my bench. Because basically, Mel isn't much better than anything on my board right now. Mel's probably better than like Swain or something, like, of course. But you have to understand that I'm gonna be losing a lot of bronze for life value. Every unit on my board contributes to 2 traits in bronze for life. So every unit on my board gives 6% damage amp to the whole board. I have to ask myself, is Mel worth more than 6% damage amp to the whole board? It's like, if I didn't have Vi, yeah, it makes sense, but I'm pretty likely to hit Vi 2. I already have 2 Vis. So then I have Vi 2. I have all these melee items on Corki, right? I have these Omnivamp items on Corki that I want to put on the Vi. And then I have a Mel. It's like, I don't know. Like, if I wasn't paired on Corki and I wasn't paired on Vi, I'd probably like sell and buy and hold on to Mel as a next in, because I'm sure Mel is really strong here. But she's no Victor. I don't think she's going to sway a fight and instantly win it for me. I think I'd rather have the damage amp. Now, maybe that's wrong. I don't know well enough with this board with bronze for life. Like, it's above my pay grade, okay? If you want to try it out, go ahead. It's like, I don't know if losing 6% damage amp on the whole board is worth the Mel shield and the Mel casting. Because sometimes this Mel unit, she looks like she does like insane numbers, and then sometimes she does nothing. If I had AP items, I would take the Mel as well, right? Let's say I was stuck with a bunch of rods and tears and shit that I didn't know what to do with, right? Then I would probably take Mel, right? Like, let's say I had like adaptive helm and I had like, you know, all these weird ass items. Then the Mel would be pretty good, right? If I had more gold, like, you know, I could sell this AMBESSA and technically hold on to the Mel, but hold on to the AMBESSA because maybe I can hit AMBESSA 3 later in the game. I'm the strongest of the Emissary players, so holding on to extra copies of your units is actually pretty good, because it makes it so that if those players die, then you can like hit the 3-star version of your unit. I could sell and hold on to Mel, like I said, but I'm probably just gonna play. I think I just want to play Vi next in. There's a Warwick. I buy the Warwick now because I have enough gold for it, so I'm down. I don't think I'm playing Warwick either, if I'm being honest with you guys. Just because I don't think Warwick does that much. Sometimes Warwick pops off. Warwick is really good into other melee comps, right? Like, for example, if I was fighting another Emissary board, Warwick is really good because the execute comes in handy. A lot of times, like, the melee units drop really low on health, and then they get, like, an ult off, and then they heal all of that health back, and then it's, like, really strong. But, like, in this case, it's like, I don't really want to. Here I take Belt 100% instantly. The reason why do you take Belt? I don't have Sundering. So Even Shroud. Even Shroud makes it so I reduce armor. It's very important. I'm lucky that I hit Belt. So we go for it. As you can see, now all my items are good. My Corki items are a little bit weird. Obviously, I understand that. I will switch them later, right? My next priority now is I have 3 items on Garen. I have 3 items on AMBESSA that I like. I have 3 items on Corki, but I don't really like them that much. So what my goal is here is to eventually move those items onto the Vi, and then put items that I like on Corki. Good idea? I think it's a good idea. I think we're fine. We should be stronger than most of the lobby right now. It just comes down to like some boards that kind of sent it. I'm 50 gold, so I'm greeting. So for example, this board, it was just unfortunate. My Corki got deleted by the Silco. So, you know, this was a problem with frontline Corki a little bit. So that was a little bit awkward. And this guy sent it to 0 and he completely spiked. Right, he's level 9. I'm not level 9 yet. I'm level 9 this turn. So I have Vi 2 on bench. I don't really have to roll for Garen 2 because I have this Vi. So I'm totally down to just level and put in Vi this turn. So here I have Scrap. So because of what doesn't kill you, I got an extra component because it counted like as my 4th loss. Remember I said every 4 losses I get a component. I level instantly. I don't really care about Garen 2 just yet. Hopefully I can hit Garen 2 at one point. I get Scrap. So Scrap with the glove will give this Corki 1 extra item. I leave the Hodge on the Corki because it's a crit glove item. So maybe it will be nicer to have it on the Corki than on somebody else. And then now I play this Vi 2. This is fantastic. This guy's a Victor. You know, like, my bad. I misplayed. Like, great. That's fantastic. Look, my unit just gets fucking stunned. And then this Vi just one-shots it. It's like, cool. Yeah, I'm so excited to see Victor. You know, I saw a Warwick and a Mel. Like, it would have been nice if I saw a Victor. I'd win the game for free. Like, you know, I really hope I get a Victor by the end of this game, because how am I going to beat this guy? But it's fine. I think I can beat this guy with better positioning. I'm kind of joking a little bit. I'm kind of memeing a little bit. But I think I beat that guy with better positioning. The Victor doesn't make your board broken. it's just like, you know, if you have a bad board and you throw in a Victor, you're not winning the round. The problem is that Victor, in like a max cap situation, dramatically sways the outcome of the fight. And that's the scary part. So in that fight, we were pretty evenly matched because his Violet with like family emblem and like all of that shit going on is going to be a little bit more damage than what I have to offer to the table. So, you know, you don't want to get stunned in those type of situations, what I'm trying to say. So I lost that fight. It's fine. It's getting a little bit stressful here, but we should be stronger than most of the cast. I just have to pay better attention to my positioning and where I put my units. I put Corky back one row now because I have enough units to make full use of the locket, like the locket of the Sorelli, whatever it's called, because I have 5 frontline units now. So I move Corky back. I don't want to frontline the Corky just in case he gets burst damage deleted, so I'd rather just play around these. Here, what item would I really want? I want Protector's Vow or I want Guardbreaker. It depends what we're prioritizing. Guardbreaker is pretty good, so I'm down to take Guardbreaker. I'm probably going to put Guardbreaker on Corky here, just because it's a good damage item. Protector's Vow is also pretty good on Vi to get it cast off early. So either or was okay. The problem is I just don't like my Corky items enough. I want to try and get 3 items for Corky because this Hodge isn't that great. I'd rather just put something else on him. I'm getting the Conqueror cash outs, which is pretty funny. Here I'm just rolling for Garen. I've kind of resolved to the fact that I might just be like, you know, I'm 22 HP now. I lost 2 rounds. There's a chance that I might just lose out and go bot 4 here still. So I'm a little bit stressed because, you know, I haven't fought a couple of these players in a really long time. So I'm not sure how I match up with them. So I don't want to accidentally just die here. So that's why I'm rolling really aggressively to try and find the Garen. There's not much I can do, right? Going 10 doesn't do anything for me because I already have all these synergies in for Bronze for Life. I already spiked my board by going 9 in the first place. Now I have 2 items on Vi, so she's going to live a little bit longer. This guy, remember last time I fought him, he like absolutely deleted me. I think now we have enough damage to actually chew through. As you can see, my Corky didn't die early, so it really helps me to clean up shop, right? It's a little bit close. These guys will clutch up if you give them the chance to, so it's totally fine. I could also upgrade Swain here. Sometimes if you can make it to level 10, by the way, like level 10, a lot of times what you end up playing is 4 Form Swapper, right? So holding on to Elise is pretty cool. The other guy is also going for Elise 3. I don't know if you noticed it. So I have to hold on to the Elises because I might be able to win this game. So I want to deny the other person's win condition. So as you can see, we're level 9. We have Bronze for Life. We're really strong. So long as we don't just get bursted down, either our Corky or our AMBESSA, we should be in a good spot. I don't think this guy has enough damage to beat me. He's like a similar board to me, except he has Garen too. But he's relying on Vi as a carry here. And he doesn't have Bronze for Life. He just has Edge of Night and Piercing Lotus. So, you know, I'm not too worried about this. It might be a little bit stressful, but his item quality doesn't look as good as mine. Which is just lucky, right? It's just lucky that my items worked out the way they did. I'm not saying he's a bad player or anything. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't look like it's going to be close. So this guy, as you can see, he's going for at least 3. That's the Heimer player. The Heimer player is scary. This guy's a Victor, so he's scary. I'm going to try and econ up here once I hit Garen 2. Once I hit Garen 2, that's pretty much just my board. Because I'm Bronze for Life, I really, like, unless I hit, like, a 2-star 5 cost, I'm probably not changing these 2 guys, but those are the 2 that you usually drop for 5 costs in this particular spot. Because I'm Bronze for Life, those 2 guys contribute to, like, how many traits? It's like 3 traits each. So it's like, you know, it's like a total of like 9% damage amp, which is like really a lot. That's like a whole item almost on my whole board. Here I just looked for another frontline item for Vi. I could have even looked for a Corky item. Did I click that too fast? Let me see. What item could I have picked here? Oh yeah, there's nothing here. Runans is okay, but I have scrap value still, so I'd rather scrap the glove because the glove pairing with the Guardbreaker is pretty cool. So I take Bloodthirster. I'm just gonna go triple healing on Vi. Just make her like a tank. This Vi isn't meant to do damage, by the way. I'm not trying to get this Vi to do damage. She's just like a frontline stun bot, right? So if she lives long enough to get a couple casts off, I'm pretty happy. So I just gave her triple Omnivamp. She's Omnivamped out the wazoo. She has a bunch of damage amp from bronze for life, so she should be able to make use of the Omnivamp. So, you know, we should be fine. This guy's scary. He has 2 Academy emblems. So that's stressful because he's 6 Academy. So basically, I have bronze for life. This guy has almost as much damage amp as I do with the Academy items. If he hits Jace 2, it's going to be close, right? I'm still stronger than him, but look, I'm just barely stronger than him. Because his fucking dummy is doing a shit ton of damage, right? Like, if you saw that last fight, it was Corki versus the target dummy. And this target dummy that target dummy has hands, is what I'm trying to say. Look at this. I almost lost to dummy. So this guy, it's a very close fight. If he hits Jace 2, I'm screwed. So, you know, we just gotta cross our fingers and hope he doesn't hit Jace 2. I'm holding on to these dudes because nobody else in the lobby seems to care that that guy's going for a 3-star, except for me. So I'm the one denying him. He's literally one off Elise. If it wasn't for me holding on to these Elises, the lobby would be done. So, like, you know, I'm patting myself on the back for that one. You know, that's good scouting by Fenrir. Okay, we're happy with that. Anyways, now I'm fighting the Violet player. I don't think they beat me anymore. My item quality got a lot better because now I actually have, like, you know, better Corki items, and I have this Vi with triple items. I should be able to beat this guy. It is clone, so it's fine. Even with the Victor, this board is not what it used to be. Even with 4 family, I'm not super scared. I have so much damage amp. If you don't understand, like, why I'm, like, confident in some of these situations, you just have to understand how much damage I have. I think each of my units has, like, I think this AMBESSA has like 40% damage amp. You know what I mean? It's like she does so much. Like, look at this. Like, she's doing 10k. Corki's doing 6k. If the fight goes on long enough, Corki does 10k. I have a stun bot in the form of this Vi. And then I also have Garen who's tanking. It's like, okay, like, you know, it's kind of looking over for everybody else. Like I said, the only person I can lose to is, sorry, this guy. Now, this guy was very far ahead for most of the game. This is the guy that was, the Academy guy. The Academy guy basically, like, one streak. He was 100 streaking the beginning of the game. So it's unfortunate. If you low rolled a little bit, like, he hit an early Heimer while having Academy emblems. So he definitely high rolled this game. If he didn't high roll, he might have lost 1 or 2 rounds in stage 3, and then I'd be able to finish him off here. But, you know, I think he has enough time to make it to Jace 2. Here I'm fighting this guy. He can't hit Elise because I'm holding these 2 Elises. He's going for Silco as well. I have 1 copy of Silco. I just don't want this guy to hit because he could just scam me out of my placement. I am stronger than him for sure now. I was stressed before, but I'm pretty sure I don't even think it's gonna be close. Because once you get triple items on everybody, it makes such a big difference. My Vi is still alive, right? My Vi did almost as much damage to the AMBESSA because they just lived long enough to do damage, right? And he's playing a stall comp, right? Like, he's playing around Dominators, and Dominators you usually want to stall out as much as you can. Oops, sorry. I need to put my music back on. 1 second. Here we go. Let's start it over here. So we just gotta work on this. I find IE here. IE is great because I can just put it as a 3rd Corki item. I always want to have, like, IE with crit on Corki. It's one of his best items. So here, I just put IE on Corki, and we're happy to go. AMBESSA has good items. Like, IE isn't the greatest thing on her, but she's been doing good damage. She has a bunch of damage amp. She's my main damage dealer, so I don't want to change things. Do you notice what the problem is now? Do you guys see the problem here? What's going on? Yeah. Do you notice this guy right in the corner over there? Like, what the? I'm so, like, it's so tilting. Like, I think I can beat that guy, but now he has a Victor. There's no way I beat him anymore because he has a Victor. So that's the way this game's probably going to end. I'm probably second. Who knows? I won't spoil it so you guys can watch it still. But he just has a Victor. Like, what am I supposed to do here? This guy also has a... Oh, this is the same guy. Like, look at this. Like, look, the fight's pretty close. But look, as soon as the Victor cast goes off, my AMBESSA stops healing because she gets stunned. And it's like, now it's just GG. It's like, okay, my bad. I lose. This guy's still alive. So, I have one of 2 options. I can't really make it to level 10. My board is complete. This guy's holding on to a bunch of Elises and Silcos. So, I might as well just roll here down to 0 to try and find AMBESSA 3 or Garen 3 or something. You saw that I set up my team planner to do that. So, I'm just upgrading all of these units. Whichever one I hit the most of is the one that I'm probably going to go for. So, here I have the most AMBESSA. So, I'm just going to roll. It's better to roll this turn because he's still holding on to his units. This guy right here is who I'm talking to. Or maybe he sold them to try and deny me, but he's still holding on to all these Elises. So he can't hit Elise 3, but at least I can try and use that to my benefit because he thinned out the pool for me. So as you can see here, I'm one off AMBESSA 3. So, you know, I'm going to wait until he dies before I sell these Elises just in case. I sold the Silco because he's a little bit far away from Silco, so ideally he can't hit it in time, and I should be fine. So I'm one off AMBESSA now. Maybe I can hit AMBESSA 3. If I hit AMBESSA 3, I win for free. But that's just me trying to find a win con here because I'm like 99% sure I never beat this guy. Even if I go 10, unless I find like a victor, I'm not gonna beat him. You know what I mean? It's just rough. So I'm in dire straits. On this roll down on level 9, I could have gone for upgraded 5 costs instead of these guys. But because there's this guy that was holding all those Elises, I thought that my odds of finding AMBESSAs were pretty good. And it was, right? I found a bunch of AMBESSAs. I'm one off AMBESSA 3. So if I high roll just one more, it's really good. Because basically the pool is very thin because all the Elises are gone. So every time I roll for a 4 cost, there's a 30% chance of seeing one, but one of the units is completely gone. There's literally no Elises that are possible to be found. It's gold sub. It didn't give me a lot of gold. It gave me a little bit. So here I just roll for the AMBESSA and I don't hit. I check out this guy. He's still holding on to the unit, so I don't want to sell just in case. And now I just need like an extra item here. I'm down to just get Edge of Night onto this Vi. Maybe my Vi lives with Edge of Night, and then she like gets a cast off on somebody crazy. And then I just move the Gunblade to somebody else. The last items don't really matter because they're all shit units, so it's fine. Like I said before, if I wasn't going for AMBESSA 3, I could have sold my these guys, and on my roll down I could have picked up 5 costs. Right, with that much gold, I probably would have hit like Jace 2, Savika 2, for example, and that's probably better than what I have, or even a Rumble 2. It definitely makes my board stronger, but I think no matter what, the guy with the Victor, I'm pretty sure I don't beat. He's 6 Academy, Victor. 6 Academy, Heimer 2, Jace 2, Victor. It's like it's already hard enough to beat the Academy board that's already really high cap. So I'm just going to roll for this AMBESSA. Hopefully I hit. If I hit, I win. If I don't, I don't. Okay, GG, I didn't win. Like, there's nothing I can really do there. If I was able to find a Victor on that roll down, which, you know, I rolled like how much gold here? I rolled like 50, 60 gold. Like, if I found a Victor, that would have been nice. But, you know, my bad. You know, skill issue, I guess. But it's okay. Second is good here. I think we played it pretty well. There's obviously a little bit of mistakes along the way. I tried to point out some of them as we were going. There's a chance I beat this guy. I'm trying to clump everybody on this side. I'm trying to like maybe like get a wrap, right? Like I don't think I can kill this Jace easily. So I'm hoping that maybe I can kill some of these frontline units and then I can kill the Heimer. But like my frontline died too fast. So as you can see, the AMBESSA got caught on this Rumble. Rumble lived long enough. Victor stun goes off. And as you can see, it's very close. If he didn't have a Victor, I'd probably win that. Because without the stun, the Heimer would have died. Right? But you know, like let's go through that fight one more time. Just in case you didn't, just in case for the people in the back, if you didn't see what happened there. The Rumble lived with 1 HP. Look, my AMBESSA is on the dude. He's 1 HP. Right? He's about to die. And then I get stunned. If I kill this Rumble, if there's no Victor, this Rumble's dead. All of these units kill this. And then this guy's still alive. And then he goes here and he kills this. I win for sure. It's literally a Victor diff. So, you know, I tried my best. It is what it is. If I had AMBESSA 3, I also win. But, you know, maybe I could have gone 10. Maybe 10 with an extra synergy, I win. But the Victor stun is just too long for me in this type of setup. So it ends up being a loss. But that's fine. That's a second place for Emissary. That's hopefully I explained along the way, right? Basically early game, quick recap because I know people always skip my videos till the end because they don't want to hear me talking. But like, quick overview. Early game, I knew that it was an Econ Galaxy. It was Caitlyn encounter. I knew that I'd have a bunch of gold. I play towards the fact that I have a bunch of gold. I take what doesn't kill you because I don't have a strong opener. I look at my items. I think to myself, I don't want to slam these items and commit to any one line because these items aren't good enough for me to make an item pair that I'm happy with. Right? If I want to make melee items, I can't make melee items. If I want to make AP items, I can't make good AP items. If I want to make like just general items, I could make items. Like you can always slam something, but I feel like it pigeonholes me too much and it wastes really high value components. So I think what doesn't kill you, right? A lot of other people, they have completed items, as you can see. They have like triple items or double items. That's why I took what doesn't kill you. I'm pretty sure I wasn't going to win streak this lobby. So I instead decide to lose streak and make a bunch of gold. With the double econ, I have enough gold that I can roll very aggressively on level 8. So as you can see, I was able to stabilize my board very fast. Obviously, I hit AMBESSA 2, but you have to hit something. If you don't hit AMBESSA, you can stabilize around 5. If you don't hit 5, you can stabilize around Corki. If you don't hit Corki, then I don't know. Like, if you hit none of them, then, like, yeah, it's one of those games. But if you have enough gold, you should be able to hit something. As you can see, for most of the game, all I have is AMBESSA 2. I stabilize around the AMBESSA 2. Once I'm paired on the other units, I then start to roll a lot more. You just need one of them to stabilize, usually, as long as you have good combat augments, right? Bronze for life is a huge benefit. That's why this board looks so strong, especially towards the end. And I also took support items, so it's a decent way to just cap out the board with some power. So I have good combat, AMBESSA 2. I win streak for most of stage 4. Maybe this was a mistake. Maybe I'm supposed to hold on to Mel, right? Maybe Mel would have done more damage. The problem is, it's just like I lose so much value, and I'd have to sacrifice selling some of the stuff here. I could have sold AMBESSA, buy Mel, and then try it out one turn. Maybe it's good. I don't know. That's above my pay grade. That's the only thing that I think is like a glaring big mistake that might have happened. It's just that I don't have items for Mel, and I already have items for Vi, and I'm planning around items on Corki, and I'm paired on everybody. It's like, you know, I don't even know like if I'm making it to a level where I can play this Mel, right? Because, like, obviously, if I was level 9, it's like I can fit it in a lot more nicely. But it's like, I still haven't even completed my board yet. These guys aren't upgraded. And then I'm going to be holding on to Mel? Like, who am I putting Mel in over here? I lose Scrap and Form Swapper. I kind of need those things, because I don't have a front line, because this guy isn't upgraded. Right? It's really hard for me to swap out anybody right now. The only person I can reasonably swap out is Corki, and hope that Mel does as much damage as Corki. But she not only has to do as much damage as Corki, she has to do as much damage to also compensate for the bronze for light value I'm losing on the AMBESSA. So, you know, that's what I mean. It's hard. I don't think it's a clear-cut, easy, slap that unit on and board is good type of situation. And then late game, went level 9, rearranged my items with my removers, got myself a build that I was pretty happy with, and then I lost to Victor. Story of these games. That's usually how they go. Go for AMBESSA 3. I think that was my win con. That was my only way to win there, because I couldn't really make it to 10. I couldn't make it to 10 and have enough gold to guarantee finding a Victor or a 6 cost. I didn't want to go for maybe upgraded 5 cost would have been better, but without good items for them, I think that I would have died anyways. So, you know, it is what it is. And that's the game. Hopefully it was enjoyable. It was a bit longer. If you enjoy this content, please make sure to like and subscribe. I hope to God Jeremy was here and watched it. I want to see you in the comments saying, like, at least a thank you. Because, you know, I try my best to appease the commenters when they ask me to do stuff. Because, you know, I'm a person. The channel is for the people, right? So, you know, like, I still have my list of the upcoming guides. There's things that people asked for guides for that I'm working on. And, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Anyways, back to an old VOD review. Hopefully it was informative. I try my best to explain every step of the way. You know, if you don't like it and you just want to watch the game, you can also just mute me and watch it. That also helps my channel. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and see ya.